Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today I want to pour a flower and I'm using the Mastercast resin, which is a very thick resin, a high viscosity resin with a working time from around about 35 to 40 minutes. And this time I let my Mastercast resin sit for 10 minutes. I also had it in a warm water bath because it was quite cold when I poured. And like I said, I let it sit for 10 minutes and I hardly have any bubbles, so this is good. And I'm just filling up my mold. I'm using here the Oriental tray mold, the M size from MoldsandShapes. And it's half full. So I want to pour a background layer as well. But for now, I'm just filling up my mold halfway. And now I'm taking care for the bubbles, which are easily trapped at the sides of the molds. Especially when you have a design of a mold, the bubbles just tend to be trapped at the sides. So you can carefully peel them off with your dotting tool, but please make sure you're very careful that you're not scratching your mold. So as you see, I just was busy with my dotting tool at the edge of the mold, and now I'm just taking my heat gun and I'm just popping some of the bubbles which I could peel off or peel so that would rise to the surface. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying in English. Anyway, so I prepared my clear resin and I'm just checking a little bit. So I saw another bubble, but you know, it always takes a little bit time till you are happy until you are ready for pouring. So yeah, also I can only recommend take your time, never rush, because you know, even when it's a resin with not so long working time, don't get stressed. Just do whatever you need to do. These are my experiences. And well, anyway, now I'm taking my torch and I just pop the rest of the bubbles. So here I can introduce you my first color. I used some resin ink, strawberry. And I was putting this cup away, which was a little bit silly of me. But I take it back and I mix it with some metal silver powder. So I have a reddish silver. And now my next color, I used pigment drops in white and I used the light orange mica powder from Etter Art. So I have this wonderful orange tone. I'm very, very curious because I want to pour something similar, which I've done in the last flower I've done. I also colored my silver in a sort of lavender color. And this time I used a different color. And I said in my previous video, I want to see what result I'm gonna get when I wait a couple of minutes with the Mastercast resin. So like 10 more minutes, because last time I poured straight away. Anyway, I'm also pouring it in a very similar way. I'm now using alcohol inks. The first color was the carrot, a very beautiful orange tone. And for the center, I'm using the Bloody Mary. These alcohol inks are also from Octopus Fluids, also the resin ink strawberry, which I added to my silver. So these are my colors done and I can start pouring. I just need to close my alcohol inks. I did it straight away because sometimes I really get mixed up with the lids and then I have the wrong color, the wrong lid for the right color. You know what I mean. Sometimes, it is like it is. So I'm starting with my silver red mix. You see it here. And I'm pouring the spiral. I still think you get the most beautiful results by pouring a spiral, whether you do it from a cup, which I prefer to do, or from a piping bag. But I think, you know, if you get used to using a cup, you don't use a piping bag anymore. That's the experience I have. I ordered a while ago new piping bags, but I'm hardly using them. Well, I didn't use them for a long time. So you see, I'm very comfortable by pouring out of the cup. You see, I did the spiral, and now I'm trying also to go along the mold shape with these tips of the Oriental mold. And I think it looks quite beautiful already, because I love the silver mixed with some colors. It's so awesome. You get such a beautiful shade, even though in the cup it doesn't look as nice, but you will see later. And now I'm taking my orange color and I'm doing exactly the same. I'm pouring in between, I'm pouring on top of my silver, just how it comes, because I think if you are always too accurate, sometimes it's too perfect. That's what I think, but it's of course up to everyone else. But this is the way I'm pouring, and so far I get some nice effects. So let's see how this is working. And now the colors are looking a little bit weird together while I'm pouring, but I can already tell you, when I demold, you will be surprised, and I was surprised about the result. So also here with my orange tone, I followed the tips of the mold, practically the shape mold. So I also have a guidance for shaping my flower with my dotting tool later. I did the torch again, and here I'm just smoothing out a little bit where I started pouring, otherwise I have a big blob. And then I just, you see, I have the guideline. I go where those 4 hooks, and I'm sorry for the noise in the background. It's our dishwasher. My boyfriend put the dishwasher on while I'm doing the voiceover, so I'm sorry about it. Anyway, you see where I'm using my dotting tool, and I'm going right to the center this time. And you see also how I'm taking my time. This part of the video is not fast forward or anything. This is really how I'm pouring. I just take all the time I have. So now you see that the tips of the flower are matching with the tips of the mold, which I really like. And then I was thinking, I'm also using my dotting tool, and I go from the inside to the outside, but I go a little bit in a, you see, how do you say this, in a wave motion? I don't know how you would call it. You see what I'm doing from left to right till I'm at the tip. And I just wonder if it has any effects and how the flower's looking at the end. But I could already feel also that the resin was thicker than in my last flower, because it felt like it was not moving so much anymore. But I was also surprised when I look later at the video, because I'm going to do a time lapse, how it moved, how it still moved, even after, it was maybe another 10 minutes gone pouring and shaping my flower till the 35 to 40 minutes of the working time of the resin. So now I have you on the time lapse, and you see how the petals are closing up. I didn't go through the final end, but there's now the next day. You can see it still moved. So I'm very curious. Anyway, I made my back layer, and I used some espresso resin ink. I used some cappuccino mica powder and karat sand, and some of the G gold flakes from Colorberry. And I got this beautiful color which I think personally I could have done a little bit darker. But, well, I have it now like this, and I'm pouring this into the mold, and I just let the resin spread till my mold is, or till my resin is doming a little bit in this mold. You see it there. I mixed a little bit too much, but I will use it for a back layer for something else. Anyway, I let this cure, and you can see the little striations because of the shape of the mold. And this is what I like when you use these kind of molds as well. You have on the background also a little bit of a design. But anyway, let's have a look. I'm very, very curious how this is gonna turn out. And voila, look at this. Look at this shine. And yeah, the background could have been darker or lighter for my taste, but on the other hand, it matches the whole flower design. And look at the sheen. And with the final result, which is coming now, you can see the depths of this flower. Look at this. And I decided to call it a cappuccino flower because it has these wonderful colors. It's a little bit orange brown, and you have the silver touch. It's very beautiful. And probably you just heard Gary coming in. So he was meowing and saying hello to you, everyone. Anyway, with this, I love and leave you. I thank you for watching, and take good care of yourself, guys. Bye-bye.